Welcome back to another episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. I'm your host, Jaden Barr, CEO and team leader of Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. Mr. Elliott Black. Elliott, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Jaden.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm excited to dive in. You know, obviously we've got a relationship and I know a little bit of your story, but excited for everybody else to learn a little more about it as well.
Absolutely.
So let's dive in. What got you started in a career in real estate? What made you wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to do a career that's 100% based commission and not steady, not a salary role? Like, what made you interested in this industry?
Funny story, like right out of college, I was working for the St. Louis Cardinals in ticket sales.
Okay.
And I met my now wife and we were dating, and her dad, Brad Elsner, had been in the business for a long time at that point. Mm-hmm. So it really came out of me just having conversations with him, learning a little bit more. And he's like, hey man, how much money are you making a year? Like, you know, my daughter has expensive taste. And and at that point I'm like, I better like get it together. You know, I love my job here, excited to see, you know, what path this kind of goes. But if I can make some money on the side and keep my full-time job, I'm all ears. So pretty quickly after that, I had another couple conversations, decided I wanted to take the test or take the class and then hopefully pass the test and get started. And within a month following, got up and running.
Awesome.
And so literally knew nothing and was like, all right, so now what? I passed the test, have this license. Like, what do I do from here?
I know how many yards are in an acre, right?
Exactly.
And that's the question.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. So you get your license, obviously have a pretty awesome, successful mentor to learn from right away, right out of the gate, right? Yeah. So take me through kind of the first year in real estate, right? You're probably soaking everything in, being a sponge, learning a lot of things really, really quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the challenging part of all of that is I still have my full-time job, right? So like, you know, 9 to 5. And if there's home Cardinal games, I'm there another couple hours into the game. So it was trying to find time to like, okay, how do I take this to the next level and actually kind of start producing here? You know, I had some clients that came from, you know, working there that were like, okay, you're an agent. Like I need an agent. I'm ready to buy my first house. And so you kind of have that, oh, wow moment where you just are trying to figure it out. So just started spending extra time with Brad outside of my normal job, and it kind of went from there. But you're so anxious to get started, it just takes some time, and people don't realize that.
Yeah. I always tell people the work you do today shows up 90 days from now.
Yeah.
Right. So
100%.
Such a like microwave success society right now, where everybody wants everything right now, and things take time to build.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it took me, my first client was my grandma, which was exciting. You know, you get your first listing. I think that was maybe 3 months after being licensed. And I'm like, all right, I have my first listing. Now what? Because you don't know. I mean, the class, the test, you know, none of that prepares you for real life experience in a transaction and dealing with people. So that was a joy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So you get your first closing, right? Take me through like the emotions with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was exciting for sure. Like, one, just to feel like, okay, I helped my grandma. Like, she had a house that she needed to sell. She was ready to move on. So like, that's a thrill. But you still are just kind of in that, you know, what did I just do? And like, did I do everything the right way? And how can I improve and be better next time? So yeah, just kind of emotional roller coaster for sure.
Right. Take me through kind of the biggest lessons learned over the years. You know, you've worked with a lot of clients at this point. So what, you know, thinking back to some of the experiences you've had, like what are some of the lessons?
I think number one would just be dealing with people and managing their expectations and different personalities. No client is like any of your others. So it's always interesting, right? As you're building those relationships and getting to know these people, how can I clearly get through to this person? Or what is this person, how do they like feedback or advice, because it's all different. So I think that's been key in the success that I've had up until this point, is just kind of really taking the time to identify what's important to each specific client and navigating through there to make sure that I'm providing the best possible service to them.
Absolutely. So, you're obviously a very successful agent at this point. So, like, what do you think makes people say, you know what, I want to work with Elliott?
I think just being myself and being transparent. I'm not the agent that's just trying to move you along so that you purchase something, or that we just sell your house at a dollar amount that is way less than market value or what somebody's willing to pay for it. So I think just honesty and integrity, and I think I really focus on building that relationship with somebody and making sure that they don't feel that it's just a transaction, that we're actually like, I don't want to just sell your house. Like, I want to be your friend. I want to be invited to your kid's birthday party. Like, let's make this a lifelong thing. It's not just, I'm going to rush you through the process and just give minimal effort. Like, that's just not how I operate.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool feeling whenever you do get the invite to like the wedding or the housewarming party or whatever it is, right?
You feel like you made a difference in their life, and it's like, okay, they're taking the time to actually invite me to this, or send me a card, or just a thank you on social media. Like, all of that stuff is super special. You know that feeling when you see that. You're like, I'm being acknowledged for all the hard work that I put in, and that's like one of the best parts of being in this business.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is, what is your favorite part of having a career in real estate?
I think just the fact that we're helping people, I mean, this is a house is the largest investment that you're most likely going to make, throughout your lifetime. So the fact that we're kind of in control of that is pretty cool. And I don't think we think about that as much as we should. Yeah. But sometimes it just clicks where you're like, wow, I really helped this person, sell their house, and now they purchased another one. Like, we're a big factor in people's lives. And I think that's super cool.
I want to go back to, your prior experience with working with in-ticket sales with the Cardinals. Yeah. So what'd you learn, or what'd you take from that work experience that you feel like has translated well?
Yeah. Biggest one would be customer service. And I think that goes back to a little bit of dealing with different people. But I mean, the Cardinals have had a large amount of success over the years. So I think, I was more so servicing clients. They're fielding calls. We're now in the business of, you and I are reaching out to people nonstop. We're making calls. So I think the customer service background really helped me, like, getting started. And then I started learning how to actually sell.
So we're talking a lot of sunshine and rainbows, right? So a lot of the good, right? So take me through some of the challenges that you're working through in your business right now, right? We're coming out of goal setting season and New Year's resolutions and dreaming about the year ahead, right, in 2025. So take me through maybe some goals or some things that you're currently running your business to make it better.
Yeah, I think growth is the biggest part, right? Last year, I broke away, started my own team, which was super exciting, and had the best year that I've had. And now I'm entering year 10, which is fun. But it's like, how do I reach that next point? There's so many great agents out there in our area. So how do I stand out and make a difference and earn people's trust and get the opportunity? So I think when I talk in terms of growth, it's one, how can I start adding more agents to my team and grow the team? And then two, how do I grow the business? How do I get my name out there? And I think, a big goal for me is social media this year. I've always done an okay job, but I see some agents and I'm like, man, how are they pulling this off? This looks crazy professional. This is amazing. So I think it's just a lot of, spending time with you and other agents and seeing how people are having that success and gaining followers and pushing out content like crazy, because I think that's kind of the direction we're heading right now.
Sure. Yeah. I think, looking back on my success personally, it's like collaboration is huge, right? There's so many talented agents out there, and everybody kind of has their own flair of like what makes them unique in the business. And I think we can all kind of learn from each other. There's plenty of sales to go around. We can all be wildly successful and live the life that we want to live. And it's just cool to be connected with agents like yourself and all these other, top agents in the industry, just learning from each other, what's working, what's not working, where the market's headed. And that's one of my favorite parts about this business is, just the collaboration with each other.
Yeah. And I mean, you're doing an incredible job with it. Like I commend you for that, because there's a lot of effort that goes into that, but I think that's spot on. And, spending time with other agents is only going to lead to future business, hopefully together. How cool is it to, you see an agent friend, they pick up a listing and you call them and say, hey, I have the perfect buyer. Or better yet, pre-market, somebody's reaching out to you saying, hey, Jaden, I have this listing coming soon. Guess what? I have a buyer. I mean, like I think that's a crucial part of our business too. And
a value add to the clients. Yeah. Right.
100%.
Yeah. So you're probably at the point now where you're like, okay, I can't do all this myself. Right. So you mentioned growing the team. What does leverage look like for you right now? And then what do you want it to look like?
I think the tough part is giving up control, because I'm so used to just like, I want to do every single thing.
Putting the Superman cape on.
Right.
Saying, but it's to be, it's up to me. Right.
Right. But we quickly realize that you can't be everywhere at one time. And, can our clients maybe get better service by adding somebody that you can trust, that is going to do a good job? And I think the answer is yes. It just comes down to finding the right people and the right fit. So yeah, as of right now, like actively looking for more support when it comes to showings or open houses and stuff. I think those things are super important for us to be client facing. But at the same time, if you can, again, find somebody who's like well qualified to assist, like that's going to be huge for your success and your brand.
Yeah. So shoot your boy a DM.
That's right.
Let him know.
That's right.
If you're looking for that, that's awesome. Cool. So where is your business came from? Looking back, you've been able to grow this business. What are kind of the pillars, or where do you see, the lion's share of business coming?
Yeah. I would say honestly, referrals are probably 90% of my business. And man, I'm so thankful for so many clients like in the past that have just kept me in mind when, their coworkers or family or friends are ready to make a move, because that's been everything. And it means a lot. Like there's no greater feeling than somebody reaching out and saying, hey, Jaden, 5 years ago, you helped me buy my first house. Guess what? My uncle is ready to sell his house and buy something else, and you're the guy for the job. Like that is the coolest thing ever. 90% referral based. I would say another 10% from social media. Again, like I'm not at the stage where I'm doing anything that special social media wise. I have a lot to learn. And there's some challenges that come along with that too, just in regards to time and everything and making sure you're staying on top of that. But yeah, about 90% referral, 10% social.
Yeah, that's interesting. So with, talking with agents all the time, everybody's like, yeah, I have a referral based business. And there's some agents that have a system for their referrals. Like, okay, at the buyer consultation, I'm going to talk about referring business. At the showings, I'm going to mention it. At the closing table, after the closing. So like, do you have anything like that? Or is it more so just like, hey, if anybody is looking to buy or sell, let me know, right?
Yeah, I'm not that pushy, but I certainly do ask, from time to time, and I make that a part of just my follow-ups with past clients or even current clients. It's like, hey, I'd love to help whoever whoever you have that needs it moving forward, please keep me in mind. So I throw things out there, but there's not a specific system for it. I think a lot of it just comes down to like working as hard as you possibly can to make sure people have not just a okay experience, not just a good experience, but like they need to be blown away. It's that white glove service that people like to throw around there. Like that level of service is the feeling that each client should leave with after working with you. And then I think it more so is going to benefit you down the road because they're not looking at you as just, I had a good experience with Jaden. He was fine. It's like somebody mentions real estate, they're like, Jaden, right now.
I'm not going to let them use anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So there's probably some agents that are aspiring to be where you are right now, right? What does the day in the life of a top producer like yourself look like?
I think taking care of yourself is something that's extremely important if you want to take care of other people. It's very general, and I'm sure you get this response all the time, but like start each day with a workout and kind of go from there. That sets the tone for everything else. I feel like, look, if I can work as hard as I possibly can in the morning, then like that's the hardest thing that I'm going to do all day. And then after that, it's getting to work. A lot of follow-up in the morning, dealing with buyers, trying to find the perfect fit, and then break it down into lead gen, which can be social media, more follow-up, reaching out to specific leads if you're paying for a service or not. From there, it's showings in the afternoon generally. And then evenings are where I hold a lot of listing appointments generally.
Cool. Yeah, I think you're spot on with taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
In order to be able to take care of others, right? So the workout is huge for me too. Yeah, I like having a little bit of like quiet and like stillness to start the day because you never like once the day starts, you don't know where it's going to go. So like you were saying, like take care of your most important things in the morning, try to win by noon, and then afternoon, who knows where it's going to go, right? All the fires and there's really not that many emergencies in real estate typically.
Right.
There are some, but most of the time it's going to be okay.
Well, and that's another fun part of our business is no day is like another. I mean, like you said, each day there's something new, there's a new challenge, or it's just constantly changing. So that's fun. How are you managing that quiet time with the little one at home?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, whole schedule, whole rhythm, totally flipped upside down. So, I mean, I got to get up, and her sleep schedule, it changes because I feel like she's teething or, something's going on at all times. But typically if I'm up at like 5:30, then I can usually get till 6 before she's like causing a riot.
That's awesome. That's great.
So, but the wife does a good job of kind of managing things with me too.
Balance, right?
Right. Well, is there anything else, as far as what you've learned from other agents? I think mentorship and coaching and collaboration is huge. So like, is there anything that you've taken away from, watching agents like Brad or anybody else in the industry that you're trying to emulate?
Yeah, I think it's also important how you treat people too, so treating other agents the right way, or a crucial part of our business is having that network of contractors, or, it can be lenders or inspectors, like having that network of people that not only you can rely on them, but they can rely on you, just is going to pay off in such a big way, not only for, your clients, but overall just in business. So I think that's been treating people the right way, making sure that, hey, I'm booking photos for next week, making sure that I stick to that, or it's keeping your inspectors happy too, right?
Sure. If you had to make a job description for your next hire, like who are you looking for? Who's your avatar? Who's your ideal person that you'd like to be in business with and like to have on your team?
I think I just want somebody who's eager to learn and who's going to show up every day and give it their all. I mean, we spend a lot of time and a lot of days throwing stuff out there and hoping that something sticks. So somebody who's just not going to give up and keep fighting. And as you know, I mean, we've both have been in the business for several years now, but we're still learning every single day. And you know, one of the cool things that Brad says, and he's now in his 30th year, he's still learning every single day.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a challenge in our business, but it's a fun challenge.
Yeah. As cheesy as it is of a saying, I believe it's true, is that learners are earners.
100%.
So if you're not growth minded, if you're not looking to learn daily and grow yourself, then, you know, there's other people that are going to surpass you and, you know, grow a lot quicker than what you're on pace for. So that's awesome to hear. Okay. So I wrap up. Anything else you want to touch on?
I'm trying to think.
What's been the craziest thing you've seen during a showing that's appropriate for all audiences?
All right, I'll get into this one. I think it's appropriate.
What the audience wants.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate. So years ago, I was showing one of my good buddies a duplex in South City, and you know, I knock on the door as always, like make sure nobody's home. At least you think so. And so, you know, get the lockbox open. Now we're inside. We make it through the main floor. Then we go basement. And then we go upstairs, and so the left side unit's completely fine. Now we go into the right side unit, same thing, knock just to make sure, you know, that one was tenant occupied. And so same thing, main floor, basement, now we're upstairs. And there was a grown man laying in the bed, eating a bowl of cereal, watching cartoons. This is not a joke. And so we see him, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir. Like, we had this appointment scheduled and everything. He's like, no, you're fine. Come on in.
You have some free fellows?
Yeah. So that was a quick exit.
Okay. He had clothes on at least?
He did.
Okay.
Pajamas.
Pause it. Okay.
He was enjoying life.
We're good. He's just living. It's awesome. I had one time where you know, usually whenever you're like opening the lockbox, you're kind of like making small talk right at the front door. And the worst is whenever the lock like jammed, the key's not working. You're like, I promise, I don't say what it usually works. And like, you know, I'm messing with the lock. I get it open, and all I did was like crack the door open. There's you know, like cats have like tree stands. They had that right next to the door, like on the side that it opens. The cat was right here as I poked my head in and just gave the meanest sounding hiss, like right in my face. I shut the door. I go, are you allergic to cats? They go, yes, we are. Like very allergic to cats. Okay, this might not be the list for you. We're going to the next step.
Skip this one.
Right.
Keep it moving.
Okay, so I finish every episode with the same question. What's been the most impactful book, either, you know, personally, professionally? You can go down any route that you want to go down here, but most impactful book that you've read.
What if I have two?
You can share all out. You can share two.
So the first one is called The Agent's Edge by Jordan Cohen. He's a realtor out in LA area, just crazy successful. And I think what's different about that is it's not just him bragging about himself or like, you know, telling his story. It's actually like you could pick up quite a few tips and tricks like just throughout a transaction process. So I thought that was like different from most real estate books where it's like somebody saying I sold 100 million, you know. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's one.
Do it in 3 days.
Second one for mindset was called You Are a Badass.
Okay.
And it's like unbelievable. It's a quick read. I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but unbelievable. Just for like, if you're going through kind of like you're just like sitting there like, man, like I need things to change, or I need to change my mindset and be a little bit more positive. It just kind of, you know, you read that and you feel good about yourself again. Like you're like, I can do this. I can push through. So
yeah,
super cool.
Well, that kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier. Of like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like you at the level that you're at, like I'm sure you still have tough days. You still have tough months, where it's a struggle. Like you're doing the work, maybe you're not seeing the results that you want to see from it. And, you start to question yourself. There's like limiting beliefs. There's self-doubt, I'm sure. I know I've been through periods like that. How do you keep the right mindset? How do you kind of shift, the way you're thinking and kind of stay motivated, stay true to who you are?
Yeah, it's so cheesy. But like remembering your why, and like also remembering, like, I've done this before. Like I pulled this, off several times. Like I can do it again. So I think that's always just thinking about those moments before where maybe you were struggling and what you did just to kind of stay on track or turn the corner. That's the biggest thing. But I think if you constantly have like your why, and you're thinking about that every single day when you wake up, it's just like, yeah, there's going to be bad days, but this is why I'm doing this, and it's all worth it. Right? Yeah.
I found too, going back to like that first client, what got you interested in this career in the first place? Like that kind of fires you out. Yeah. And like, it just reminds you like, okay, I think a lot of times, especially if you're a high achiever, you have high expectations for yourself and kind of high goals, high standards. A lot of times we look at where we want to go and we forget to reflect on like how far we come, So looking back on, okay, where I am today, I'm light years better than I was this time last year, and way, way, way better than I was the year before, right? So as long as you continue to just get a little bit better each day, like how do I improve? How do I sharpen my skills and do the work? And then the work should take care of itself, right?
For sure. I mean, to me, we have the coolest job in the world. I mean, we get to help people. And then on the other end, like, there's never a dull moment. That's for sure, right?
Sure, for sure.
Like we said before, I mean, each day is different. You never know what that's going to come with. But at the end of the day, like, it's a really cool industry. I tell everybody that because I'm sure you get blown up with that question all the time too. What's it like to work in this? How much time do you have?
Right. We're going to need another episode to that, right?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Great episode, and we'll see you on the next episode of STL Real Estate Roundtable. Thanks, guys.